The month of Ramadan, the defining feature of the month of Ramadan, the central part and the main reason why Ramadan is unzila fihi al-Quran. The month of Ramadan in which the Quran descended. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not say Shahru Ramadan alladhi anzalna fihi. He even removes himself from the equation. He says focus on the Quran. He doesn't say Shahru Ramadan alladhi. Ramadan is the month in which we revealed the Quran. No. He says Ramadan is the month in which the Quran descended. In other words, all believers, all ummah of Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi, focus on the Quran. Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. Unzila fihi al-Quran. And I often say, Ramadan is why, Quran is why Ramadan is Ramadan. Quran is why Ramadan has countless blessings. Each moment, each night, each day, each good deed is increased in value. Why? Because of Quran. Why is Laylatul Qadr better than 1,000 months? Inna anzalnahu fi laylatin. Laylatul Qadr is Laylatul Qadr because of the Quran. Ramadan is Ramadan because of the Quran. And if the night in which the Quran descended is better than 1,000 months, then what about the noble Quran itself? What about the noble Quran itself? How great and how magnificent is the noble Quran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the tongue of in huwa illa wahyun yuha, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has sent us this guidance that the dominance of the Quran over all other books is like the dominance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over His creation. Can you imagine? There is no comparison. There is no comparison between the Creator and the creation. There is no comparison between the Quran and any other book, and every book in the world. Quran is unique. Quran is the robe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Ramadan is Ramadan because of the Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. Before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about fasting and the rules of fasting, He says, Hudan lin-nas. We gave you the Quran, O Ummati Muhammadiyya sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But the Quran is not just guidance for you. The Quran is Hudan lin-nas. It is guidance for the entire mankind. Wa bayyinat. And it has clear criterion. It is guidance and direction for the people. وَبَيِّنَاتٍ. It is proofs. You want proof of the existence of God? You want proof to refute atheism? وَبَيِّنَاتٍ. The Quran has bayinat. The Quran has proof. And wal-Furqan, and the clear criterion to judge between right and wrong. The Quran is the clear criterion to judge between the right and the wrong. And some of the things in relation to the Quran, I often talk about the noble Quran. But today, when Ramadan is approaching, it is befitting that we start Ramadan with the focus on the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of the topics of the Quran is the glory of the noble Quran. One of the topics of the Quran is the amazing text that it is. It is beyond any human capacity to understand the true glory of the noble Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَنَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ تِبْيَانًا لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ وَهُدًى وَرَحْمَةً وَبُشْرَى لِلْمُسْلِمِينَ. Look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes His book. And He says, we have sent down this Quran upon you, which is a clear explanation of all things. You want clarity in your life? You want to have clear distinction between right and wrong? The Quran gives you that clear distinction. وَنَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنَ كِتَابًا تِبْيَانًا لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Nothing is left unattended. وَهُدًى. And it is the guidance. وَرَحْمَةً. And it is the mercy. وَبُشْرَى. And it is glad tidings for the believers, for the Muslims. The noble Quran itself is glad tidings. The noble Quran came as glad tidings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions beautifully in Surah Al-Muzammil. This is one of the most glorious ayah in the shan of the noble Quran, the glory of the noble Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna hadihi tadhkira. Inna hadihi tadhkira. Indeed, this Quran is advice. This Quran is advice from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to His creation. You take advice from your seniors, you take advice from your elders. We take advice from all sorts of experts in our life. If we are ill, we take advice from medical experts. If we need financial help, we take advice from financial experts. This advice is from Rabbul Alameen, your Creator. Inna hadihi tadhkira. This Quran is advice indeed. Inna hadihi, beshak, inna hadihi tadhkira. فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذَ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ سَبِيلًا. So whoever wants to take the path towards his Lord, this is the path towards your Lord. You want to take the path towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذَ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ سَبِيلًا. إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ سَبِيلًا. Look at the glory of the noble Quran. This is your path towards your Lord, your Rabb. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that on the day of judgment, this ummah, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the ummah will stand, he will complain. And may Allah not make us amongst those about whom he will complain. He will say, وَقَالَ الرَّسُولُ. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment, Ya Rabbi, O my Rabb, inna qawm ittakhadhu al-Qur'an, inna qawm ittakhadhu hadha al-Qur'ana mahjura. And this is us now divided, division upon division, and 1.7, 1.8 billion. But they crush us here and there and everywhere. Oppression, brutality, murder, genocide. All of the victims are almost exclusively Muslims, wherever you look. Why? Because we have neglected the robe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have neglected this robe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down. And we have neglected the noble Quran. وَقَالَ الرَّسُولُ يَا رَبِّي إِنَّ قَوْمِ اتَّخَذُوا هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ مَهْجُورًا. And the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will submit, O my Lord, my people indeed took this Quran as worthy of being abandoned. This is the Quran I'm reading to you. He will say, Ya Allah, my people abandoned this book. May Allah make us amongst the people who hold on to this book and who have stability. Last thing I will mention to you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that this Quran gives strength to the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Listen to the words carefully. This Quran gave strength to the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu, the strongest of the hearts. Rasulullah's heart is the strongest of the heart. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. The heart that took the Quran. وإنه لتنزيل رب العالمين نزل به الروح الأمين على قلبك. The heart that took the Quran gains strength from the noble Quran. How? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَوْلَا نُزِّلَ عَلَيْهِ الْقُرْآنُ جُمْلَةً وَاحِدَةً. The kuffar said, why didn't the Quran come as one word? جُمْلَةٌ وَاحِدَةً. Why did it not come in a book form? كَذَلِكَ, this is what your Lord decreed. لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. So in order to strengthen your heart, O beloved, we reveal this Quran najman, slowly over 23 years, so that your heart will gain strength from the Quran. لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ وَرَتَّلْنَاهُ تَرْتِيلًا. And we recited it gradually upon you, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, so that gradually you will take strength from the Quran. Can you imagine the heart of Rasulullah takes strength from the Quran? What about your heart and my heart? Where do we gain strength from? From the noble Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, last minute, وَكُلًّا نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الرُّسُلِ. O believer, O Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we related to you, O beloved, all of the news of the messengers, all of the stories, all of the qasas of the messengers. The stories have been revealed in the noble Quran, O beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. مَا نُثَبِّتُ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. In order to strengthen your heart with it. We wanted to strengthen your heart by revealing to you the stories of the prophets, Ya Rasulullah. Oh my beloved, I wanted to give your heart the strength. The heart of Rasulullah gained strength from the noble Quran. And similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at the end of an amazing parable in Surah Ibrahim, at the end of an amazing parable, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, and I leave you with this message. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يُثَبِّتُ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِالْقَوْلِ الثَّابِتِ. Allah keeps the believers firm upon the truth in the life of this world with بِالْقَوْلِ الثَّابِتِ, with a qawl, with a word which is strong, which is established, which is firm. The firm word is the noble Quran. Allah gives stability and strength to the believers with the firm word. And the firm word is the noble Quran. Your heart, my heart, the hearts of the ummah, the entire ummah will gain strength and stability and courage with the noble Quran. يُثَبِّتُ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِالْقَوْلِ الثَّابِتِ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ. In this dunya and in the akhirah, we will gain stability and strength with the noble Quran. وَيُضِلُّ اللَّهُ الظَّالِمِينَ. And Allah causes the unjust to go astray. وَيَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ. And Allah does whatever He wills. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to become true people of the noble Quran. Ahlul Quran in the month of Ramadan. Wa akhiru da'wana. And alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.